Kia ora, it's Poppy here from Aotearoa with the current Mayan report, and we're in a night wave now of one serpent, whereas it's an opportunity to heal sexuality in alignment with time and nature. So today is the day of 6 dog, and I've started it off with what's love got to do with sexuality. So this is a little bit of a journey of connecting quite a lot of history to look at the big picture of the great cycles that are shown in the Mayan calendar. So it's day 6 of 18 of night 111 in Serpent, sexual health and unity within true time and alignment. The balance of nature shows up in animals living in natural environments. There is a harmony and a flow to life when the environment is not interfered with by anything unnatural. Animals don't cover themselves in clothes. Some grow extra fur in colder winter. Body heat may be shared for sleeping. Animals naturally take on roles within their families and communities. It's a lot we can learn about nature from animals. Some will protect, some may help the younger ones and more vulnerable ones with bodily care. There isn't any sexual shame or exploitation in the perfect balance of nature. I think the difference between animals and humans is that animals have come here in divine will and natural alignment, whereas humans have come here to work out what happens in separation when we're out of alignment with divine will and divine time. That's been the last part of our evolution anyway, for the last few eons. So the minds of humanity turned away from nature, and for evolution a great collective chose to go along with an arranged kind of civilization. We were socialised to believe that living close to nature was base, and that people who did were savages. And it was even written in word spells of legislation that way, where the native people of lands were called savages. Sometimes they were called imbeciles. They've even been called morons, and this was what came out of legislation. As countries were colonised by governing forces, children were taken into unnatural schooling environments, away from their families and the humans that they had natural and innate trust in. People were instructed in religious ways that were foreign to the natural ways. Behaviourism crept in, making mindsets of good and evil, success and failure, worthy and unworthy, right and wrong, etc. And land was stolen by word spells and violence and genocide. Fundamentally, people became so far removed from natural living with the disconnection to the land that they started to rely on daily news as how to be, what to do, and how they were meant to support their economies, not their families. Competition was the dualistic mindset created by this so-called way of civilization. Sexual competition and violence was created. People felt safe by those who took on the roles of police and judiciary, who took the place of families and tribes to try and restore justice when we were led to believe. However, they were living on the sexual injustices. So much has come, there's been a lot that has gone on within the judiciary to do with satanic ritual abuse, from what I've seen when I was trying to work this out. So this is an old paradigm that we may leave behind on an ascension path. So an ascension path is aligning with the rising frequencies found in our true or natural time. Most of humanity may choose a path of dissension where civilization is still perceived as safety, and that does appear to be the case. A great love and trust in nature is needed. A dog doesn't have any need to face a direction and pray at certain times of the day to survive. Their physical existence matters a lot, and we have been socialised to neglect ours for lofty and practical mindsets that serve a few. In fact, I've known animals to be incredibly sensitive, telepathic, intuitive, which means that they are incredibly spiritually connected because they are coming from a solid physical foundation within their being. So dogs have their own ways of being in harmony with nature and with one another. They don't constantly judge their surroundings. They find their way with their families and tribes within it, without terrible violence, animosity, or hatred to what is different to them. A time may come when masses of people die, as I have seen in visions. I don't believe it's too far away. It may be months, it might still be years, but it feels pretty soon. And I feel the grief welling up within me. To get through this, we are going to need to have returned our consciousness back to enormous trust in what is natural and organic. The great cycles of time, where an ascension phase may come to completion, seems to be recalled as the falling and rising of civilizations, e.g. Atlantis and Lemuria. Perhaps it was just an opportunity each time to ascend or descend, depending on what our frequency was. Either way, it's all evolution. So masses of souls have left and started again at different times in history, whenever their frequencies matched. So here we are again, and here we are with genetically modifying technology that's proving to remove people from the natural source connection. Another agenda, not just the controlling of the minds this time. So to transcend this, I intuit that we are going to need to rely once again on our innate and natural intelligence from our physical vessels. This is where our completely aligned souls fully connect within and are fully capable of accessing heaven and earth within. Natural instincts take us through birthing and challenges. I feel that in upcoming months there won't be time for shaming, blaming, bickering and passing the buck, because the buck isn't natural anyway. It's an illusion of competition, and we are going to need to help one another instead of continuing to harm another or being sold out from one another. The illusion was constructed on the blood, sweat and tears that come from being separated from our divine life sources, heaven and earth. No matter how we perceive them, it's more than being a food source for something unnatural. It's more like we've been a food source for something unnatural. So abandonment, rejection, separation, all traumatic suffering that falls back to the illusion of commerce. Suffering is a mental state that results from perceptions of pain. See how animals handle their pain, and how the families and tribes of an afflicted animal come around to care when it's necessary. It's lacking where humanity has given their consciousness over to the sparring conditions of illusion that have been soul-shattering. Hospitals and institutions lack compassion and basic human qualities for true healing. We can restore our environments and our ways back to nature, just the way that we lost it, and with what is natural, with our consciousness. We have work to do in our families and communities to make sure everyone is loved, safe, fed, and that we can all thrive. Then we will experience and know love, because love simply doesn't have conditions. We will remember and live loyalty, because our capacity for it is within our hearts again. Sexual injustice will cease to exist due to the rebalancing and harmony that nature creates. It relies on nature. It is nature. Sexuality, creation. We may have ancient memories of the true bliss of unity and the sacred connecting with another whole, free and complete natural soul. I know I do. I have never felt love from humanity in this life as I have felt from an animal that saw me and chose to bond with me. If I wasn't so dedicated to my humanity and surpassing separation, I could happily live the rest of my days to just devoted to loving and being loved by an animal who has bonded with me or chosen me. Ancient remembrance shows me it may one day be possible that this pure love and loyalty with another human being could be possible. I love my cosmic mother, Papa Tuanuku. I love you so much that I choose to carry on with you, and I know I am a part of your ascension, just as so many people who are listening to this message are as well. As things are at present, We all have our holing or our healing to do, to break through the limitations, obstacles, and constraints of the conditional matrix mindset of commerce. Our sexuality is a foundation for either pain or for the pure pleasure of the full spectrum of chakra energies to rise and burst forth in new creation with or without another. So creation can be physically born as a child, or it can be physically born from the passion of the intention of that feeling of love that a whole cosmic energy within experience can create. It doesn't actually rely on another human being. So it's possible with or without another human being. But a couple is blessed to build this together. It's a sacred and joyful celebration, as I recall only from ancient remembrance. And I do believe that will be our way forward one day. It will be sacred, joyful celebration. This creation comes from a foundation of pure love that naturally forms a loyalty of the love that two human souls may share in dedication to the sacred balance and harmony only present in nature. So it may be as we live our unique soul purposes. Let's do our foundational holding for the highest expressions and experiences of creation, where love and loyalty may be lived more limitlessly. So everything that I share quite freely out of my great love for Papatūānuku, I meditate, I explore, I seek, I go directly to nature, and I view it from nature's perspective and try to tell it from nature's perspective. So this will sound very, very different to just about anything else that anybody's saying. It's just coming from organic, pure sources with the time waves of creation through the sacred Mayan calendar. So be blessed. I hope that we as human beings find our way back to the pure organic bliss and beauty within nature, and the pure and organic love that can be between whole people in sacred sexual union, and the pure and organic connecting with creation, with her animals, with her plants, with other humans, with our community, with all our tribe. Blessings. So much love.